I found most interesting in biomedical engineering, it's the cross-functionality between the different elements of science and the focus on improving the quality of human lives. So I really enjoy learning more about neuroscience, advanced physiology, and medical devices also.
As an undergrad, I did electronics and instrumentation, and in my high school, I was interested in both physics and biology. So that kind of made me realize that I wanted to do something at the intersection of physics and biology, and that is why I chose biomedical engineering. And in the field of biomedical engineering, I am really interested in imaging and other diagnostic tools that help us figure out what is happening inside of us.
Your research is someday going to affect lots of lives. For example, the research that I am involved in is to design and engineer new ways to deliver drugs inside the human body. So knowing that someday this is going to impact lives is the most interesting part of biomedical engineering.
It's really a meld of multiple disciplines that have come together to try to help people. So there's people in electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, biology that are really trying to develop tools or tissues and organs to eventually help people someday.
So I chose biomedical engineering at Carnegie Mellon because right when I visited, right off the bat, I just felt a sense of community. Carnegie Mellon, especially the bioengineering department, has a super unique lab space where we call it the collaboratory, and there is either 8 or 9 labs all within one large lab space. So it's like a large open room, and this then helps foster a sense of community as well as helps encourage collaboration between different labs.
Over the years, when you're working in labs that don't have any walls, you end up talking to people who are working on different projects. You can go and initiate collaborations. At the same time, also a lot of professors in the BME department at CMU have an open door policy.
When we used to work in the graduate student offices, the professors were literally across the corridor from us, and they had an open door policy. So basically, whenever we wanted, we could just go and ask a question, and they would always be willing to help us.
At the BME department, we have this share space. It's called Hall 3rd floor, and basically it's not only a place where we can chill with a classmate, but it's a place where it gives us an easy access and interaction with faculty member, with a senior student, and it just creates a flexible and a supportive environment to pursue our degree.
I think we have a really unique program in that we're a really close-knit community, and a lot of the students really do help each other and work with each other. And I think that's a lot different than other biomedical engineering programs, at least that I've been exposed to.
The BME department has a graduate student organization called GBMES, which is the Graduate Biomedical Engineering Society, which I am currently the president of. So we essentially try to plan department-wide events. Since the pandemic, obviously we're not allowed to do in-person events, but we have shifted to a virtual platform where we have hosted virtual happy hours. We've also hosted virtual escape rooms, which we won, which was awesome. It was a really fun escape room.
When I was applying to different schools for my master's program, I was looking at schools that have small biomedical engineering programs. And I wanted to have a small program so that I can have some personal attention, and if I need some help, people can actually cater towards it.
Coming from an engineering background, I was actually kind of worried about how much biology I would be able to cope up with. But I've had the opportunity to try out subjects in biology, subjects in engineering and machine learning that kind of helped me in the research that I'm doing.
Taking advanced physiology was not only challenging, but also interesting.
So our tissue engineering class is really cool because it has a lab component where you actually do tissue engineering experiments. And then the final project, you actually develop your own idea, you propose it to the class, and then you actually do it. So I think that's really cool.
I've taken a course by Professor Steve Chase. It's called Neural Data Analysis, and I loved that course. It had a steep learning curve, definitely, because it was the first time for me taking a course like that, but I learned a lot.
I still haven't decided yet if I want to go into industry or stay in academia. But I would say I'm definitely leaning more towards academia. And Carnegie Mellon has a program called the Future Faculty Program.
My career aspiration is to work with medical devices companies and mostly focusing on limited resources countries. And how the program helped me to reach to that, it's basically the flexibility of the program where it match student interest into opportunities that exist, and if it doesn't exist, they help us to create these opportunities.
I was very fortunate in my second year to work on a very high impact paper that was published in Science, and just working on that paper with a lot of different people, and I think that networking aspect has really helped me, and having the recognition of a high impact journal is really good for your future career.
As of now, I'm still not quite sure of what I'll be doing, but the CMU BME department is quite supportive in providing all the kind of facilities I would need to make that decision.
I chose biomedical engineering at Carnegie Mellon University for the opportunity, the innovation, and being a part of the next generation who will improve biomedical engineering and healthcare applications.